If you've ever thought about building an online business so that you can travel freely and live life according to your own rules, then these 5 lessons that we learned taking our business past 6 figures will definitely help you save either time, money, or both. Let's jump right in. Say yes. Richard Branson famously said, if somebody offers you an amazing opportunity but you're not sure you can do it, say yes, then learn how to do it later. When we first got started in business, we had zero confidence and zero skills to offer anyone, let alone the online business community. Our skills from corporate were definitely not transferable to what we wanted to do today. But every single service that we offer today, we learned as a result of saying yes to multiple opportunities and learning how to do them later. For example, saying yes to documenting our travels, that allowed us to learn a very valuable skill called video editing. Saying yes to helping a client manage their social media channels allowed us to understand how social media management works. Saying yes to helping a client with their book layout forced us to actually learn how to use Adobe InDesign. Those are just some of the examples where we said yes to opportunities and figuring out how to do it later that allowed us to acquire a new skill. Were we scared to take on some projects? Of course we were. But we figured that if we couldn't figure out how to get the end result or deliver the result to the client, we could either subcontract someone else that had the expertise to do the work for us, or we could refund the client's money. Of course, both scenarios weren't the most ideal. However, this took a lot of pressure off us in the beginning, which allowed us to say yes to a lot more opportunities that came our way. What this taught us was that we didn't need to have everything figured out in the beginning. All we needed to do was have the courage to say yes and the willingness to learn. And the best part of it is that we actually learned everything for free on YouTube. And I'll be happy to tell you that up until today, not once have we needed to refund the client's money because they weren't happy with our work, or to hire someone to come and save us. Lesson number 2. Choose the right path. In the early days, our first goal was to replace our corporate income so that we could start traveling around the world. But what we didn't realize was that it was extremely critical for us to actually choose the right services to offer our clients. There are 2 categories of services that you can offer. The first category is what I call freedom limitation services. These are services that require you to be in endless meetings in order for you to deliver the end product to the client. The second category is what I call freedom services. This type of service allows you to work flexibly on your own terms. Of course, there's pros and cons to both categories. I guess it just depends on what type of person you are and what type of services you prefer to deliver. For me, I'm introverted, so I prefer not to be on meetings all day. I would prefer the client just to send me work and then give me a deadline and then we get it done. Whereas Tamz, she is more extroverted than me, so for her being on meetings is not really an issue. She loves talking to people, she loves adding value that way, and she's able to build a much deeper relationship with her clients than what I am able to do. But if your goal is to maximize travel and freedom, then this lesson becomes extremely important for you, because we had to learn the hard way while we were on our 3-month trip around Europe. I remember the day when we were visiting Fisherman's Bastion in Hungary, Budapest. Because Tamz had a meeting in the middle of the day, I had to carry her laptop throughout the whole day, and the worst part of it is her meeting actually went over time. By the time she was done, she actually didn't get to really enjoy the Fisherman's Bastion. She didn't get to walk around at all. So this is what I mean by the limitations of the services that Tamz offers, because if you want to maximize freedom and travel, sometimes you can't move a meeting to when it suits you. The reason why we could handle it back then was probably because we had a lot less clients. Right now, Tamz has only got 1 or 2 clients in the freedom limitation services category, which I feel like is the perfect balance, because when we went to Asia, or the last few trips that we went to Asia, we actually didn't have that many interruptions. So from my perspective, I would highly recommend just limiting your freedom limitation service category to 2 clients. But if you're not traveling as much as we are and you just want to build an online business, both services will be great. If you've liked the first 2 lessons so far, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button. As a thank you, I'll show you a picture of my dog.
I'm a potato.
Focus on increasing your average order value. Whenever we are setting new revenue goals in our business, we usually default to 2 methods to reach it. The first one is the most obvious one, and that is to increase the number of clients. And the second one is to increase the average order value per client. My favorite is the second option, because when clients already love the work that we do and they trust us, it is a lot easier for us to upsell them on a new service that we're able to offer them. At the same time, most of the clients that we currently work with almost always need another service that we are able to provide, and it's a lot easier for them to pass on the work to us instead of trying to find 5 different vendors in order to help them with 5 different tasks. For example, if you're a business coach, you'd probably need assistance with website updates, social media management, maybe video editing for your YouTube channel or for your courses that you want to launch, graphic design for any events or banners that you want to create, content creation, and the list goes on. This is why the compound effect of the first lesson was so critical for our business growth in the beginning. Because every time we learned a new skill, we'd be able to offer that to our current existing clients. We were able to increase our revenue by over 600% without needing to onboard new clients. Because if you think about it, let's say if you learned a new skill called Facebook advertising and you wanted to help your 10 clients increase their leads, and let's say you offer it to 10 of these clients and only 5 of them say they want to work with you on it. Out of those 5, you charge them $1,000, let's say for a month, of helping them run their ads and manage their ads. That's an extra $5,000 on top of what you're already earning with them just from learning a new skill. And that's what I mean by the compound effects. The more skill sets that you learn and the bigger your client base starts growing, the more revenue you start earning without even needing to onboard new clients. However, as great as it was for us to increase our revenue without increasing our client base, this also came with some risks. And that's why if you don't balance lesson 3 with lesson 4, you actually might just run into problems down the line. And that leads me to the next lesson. Lesson 4, diversify for freedom. When a client starts to account for more than 15% of your revenue, it starts to actually put your freedom at risk. Here's an example to illustrate my point. Let's say your business generates $10,000 per month and your lifestyle costs you $6,000 per month. You have client A that pays you $8,000 per month and client B and C that pays you $1,000 each. When you look at that equation, which client would you be most worried to lose? It's obvious, right? It's client A. Because if you lost client A, you would have to decrease your lifestyle dramatically in order to account for the 80% loss in revenue from your business. So when you're put in this situation, in order for you not to lose client A, you, as well as myself, would probably do anything legal, I'd say, in order to keep our clients. And therein lies the problem. Client A can pretty much tell us to jump, and we'd have to say how high. This is what happened in the early stages of our business. We had a few clients that accounted for a vast amount of our revenue, and so every time we traveled, we'd always have to be up at crazy hours in order to meet deadlines so that we can keep our clients happy so that we can continue traveling. And that's what I meant by balancing lesson 3 and lesson number 4. We had to figure out a way to be able to increase the number of clients as well as increase the average order value, but at the same time, if the average order value of one client starts becoming too big, we then start increasing more clients on this side. The reason why we do that is so that we don't feel trapped. The other benefit to this is that you're able to start choosing the projects that you actually want to work on instead of just working on projects because you want to earn the income. So from our experience, we found that when most of our clients are at around a 15% threshold, gives us the peace of mind that if we had to lose a client today, it wouldn't affect our lifestyle, and at the same time, we'd be able to make up that difference quite easily. Lesson 5, systemized to go part-time. This lesson is a secret on how we went from working 8 to 10 hours a day down to 3 to 4 hours a day for Tamz and around 2 hours a day for me, while still increasing our revenue. Here's a side note. Outside of working with our clients or on our business, we spend a huge amount of time on other things like YouTube. So yes, if you don't have anything else that you want to do outside of working on client work or building your business, you can definitely build this business past 6 figures by working 3 to 4 hours a day on client work. Don't get me wrong, because in the beginning, because we had no transferable skills like I mentioned before, we had to work around 10 to 14 hour days nearly every single day for a couple of months in order for us to get to this stage where we can work on this business part-time. Back to the lesson. A few months ago, we started implementing lesson number 4 quite aggressively. And at the same time, our clients started referring a whole bunch of clients to us, which is a really good thing. However, the amount of time it took us to onboard these clients, as well as to get onto meetings every time there's a new project that they wanted us to help them with, became extremely time consuming. So we found ourselves spending more and more time on meetings. At this stage, we weren't really sure what to do. We just assumed the more clients that you get, the busier you're going to be, and that's just how this industry works, right? That was completely wrong. That's just a false belief we were telling ourselves, which wasn't true. Luckily, during that period, I was actually going through a course that was teaching me how to systemize our business as well as train our clients. And to our surprise, it actually worked. So here's the concept. Train your clients to only email you or add any project requirements into a project management tool like Asana or Trello. This way, you waste no time in meetings talking to clients about project requirements and 100% of your time on just focusing on output. And this is why lesson number 5 becomes so important when you're implementing lesson number 4, because it allows us to increase the amount of clients that we have without increasing the amount of meetings that we're in, which means we'd still be able to travel and do what we want whenever we want. So these are the 5 key lessons that we learned building our business while we were traveling around the world. Start by saying yes to opportunities and use your growing skills to enhance your service offerings and increase your client value. Diversify your client base to protect your freedom and systemize your process to reclaim your time. So if you've learned anything from our lessons and our experiences, please consider subscribing and liking this video. It will really help out our channel. See you in the next video.